but I'm off the throttle on this and we're gently rolling.
Oh! Whoa! Welcome to the Car Guys. This week we're talking V8 Ferraris.
We're going to compare and contrast the 488 and the 458 and give you our thoughts across both models.
The whole point of this video is to take you through the differences between the cars, the difference in performance, the difference in comfort, handling, the looks, and the actual value proposition once you've bought the car. What's it going to be worth in the future? That's really what we're going to be doing here today, is taking you through all of those factors, comparing them out on the road, and really seeing which is the better buy right now. So let's go through and look around both these cars and point out the differences between the 458 Italia and the 488 GTB. So on the 458 you can see we've got these movable sections with as the air goes through, they actually move and deform to allow the air to come in and to vent the car, make it more slippery through the air. 488's got nothing, it's just got an enormous grille right there at the front.
And this was quite revolutionary when this came out, the fact that you would have movable, obviously derived from Formula One. So this is where all this comes from. But on the 488, they've gone back to solid front wing with bigger air vents because they're moving the air in a completely different way.
The bonnets of the two cars are dramatically different. So the 488 is far more sculpted. It's got some vents down here, whereas the 458 you can see is just sculpted. You've actually got vents here, and another big difference is you've actually got cut-in vents here above the wheel arch on the 458 with a grille. 488 nothing.
As we move towards the backs of the cars, nice sculpted door handle on the 458, utter pile of God knows what on the 488. So here in the 488 we've now got the side vent is back into the Ferrari. I'm not keen on this thing here.
And actually I much prefer the smooth lines of the 458 in this. I know the vent kind of looks cool, and actually the way that the cut-in on the door molds straight back to the vent. For me, this pure design of the 458 is more successful, I think. You can see both these cars have contrasting roofs. The reason why I did that is quite simply to make the car look lower. As soon as you put the roof in a different colour and also the side skirts, it just pinches in the car, makes it look a lot lower to the ground.
When we look at the back of these cars, we've got completely different aero treatments. Again, what we're doing with the 488 is we're pushing the air through here and then it's exiting here. This spoiler is completely open and the air is exiting out the back, whereas on the 458 we've got vents here which help the spoiler. There's actually a vent here in the quarter glass that helps to move the air, which isn't on the 488.
The 488 shares the lights of the GTC4 Lusso, and they're completely different, big deep dish type affairs with a bit of carbon. And the big difference also is you've got two colossal exhaust pipes just sitting above the diffuser, whereas on the 458 you've got that more delicate three pipe arrangement in the center. Personally, I think the 458 wins.
Oh really?
Wins the battle of the rears.
Oh,
what do you think?
I'm on the 488 side.
Really?
Yeah. One thing I've never ever understood and can't grasp is why Ferraris sit so high. There is such a massive gap between the top of the wheel and the wheel arch. It almost looks like they're on lift kit at all times.
Look at the side profile of these cars. I mean, absolutely beautiful. This to me is one of the prettiest Ferraris that's ever been made, and I still think out of the two cars this is the better looking. What about you?
Yeah, I agree with you.
So in terms of looks, the winner is the 458 Italia. But this is where it gets serious. Let's have a look at the engine compartments of the two cars. This should separate the men from the boys.
These engines could not be more different from each other. The 488 engine is so compact. It's a really small unit. It feels like it sits a lot lower in the chassis as well. When you compare and contrast that with the 458 engine, which is absolutely enormous.
Look at the size of that. Look at it.
It feels like it's sitting higher up.
It is a good half a foot difference.
Yeah.
The 488 is obviously a 3.9 litre compared to the 4.5 litre of the 458, but you're right, it's noticeably smaller and lower, this 488 engine.
Yeah, totally.
So without a doubt, this is probably one of the nicest spec 458s I've seen. So we've got black leather everywhere, contrasting white stitching, which of course you can see reflected everywhere on the windscreen. Swathe of carbon fibre that goes along and splits through the whole car and then joins up with the driver's section. Centre console, it's nice and low, everything's recessed, it's got nice little bulgy bits all in carbon, so it's quite subtle, but because it's low it makes it feel a little bit more airy in here. Driver's steering wheel, the classic Formula 1 style, all the buttons on the steering wheel itself, no stalks, just huge carbon fibre paddles on it. It's got carbon fibre seat backs, which I really love. We've got horses stitched in the back there in white, but I think this is a super classy place to be.
Here we are in the 488.
And the wheel remains pretty much unchanged. It's pretty standard. Slightly improved indicators, but not so much you'd notice. Then down here in the centre, you've actually got this raised area, which is very much like the California, actually. And of course, not forgetting the little sheathy pouch thing for your enormous Ferrari key. You've got red stitched horses in the top here. It's a little bit more claustrophobic than the 458. I don't think it's as swoopy or as attractive, particularly here, the way that this gets chopped down. This weird sort of Doctor Who style thing going on here. To me, I think in terms of overall winner, I'm going to have to give the interior to the 458.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you, because although they've made changes in here, I still think that the 458 wins it.
Well, let's do some top trumps comparing the two cars. So let's play Car Guys Top Trump.
So I've got the 488, yeah?
Yep.
Perfect. So
right,
I'm definitely going to win this.
So 0 to 60.
3 seconds.
3 seconds as well.
Top speed.
206 miles an hour.
What?
Yeah.
But this is 205. Why is it slower?
So newer car, slower, ladies and gentlemen. Why do you think that is?
I reckon it's because of all the bloody aerodynamics. I think it just slows it down.
These massive vents in the side, that's basically like having an open window, isn't it, on both sides of the car. So no wonder it's slower. Oh, and that front,
sucking in there,
and the front vent,
pushing it down to the floor.
It's like driving a brick, isn't it? What about power?
Power. Right, so power, 660 horsepower.
You see, that's where the turbos come through. 562.
Is that all?
Sorry.
560, so 100 horsepower more.
I can't believe 562 is still a lot of horsepower.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying, what I'm pointing out is that 100 horsepower more, 5 mile an hour slower, no quicker to 60.
Yeah, that's progress for you folks. Engine, this one has got a naturally aspirated 4.5 litre V8 singing to 9,000 RPM.
Check her out.
What have you got?
I have got a twin turbo 3.9 litre
3.9
engine.
Not even 4 litres, ladies and gentlemen, not even 4
I would like
litres.
to point out though, 100 horsepower more. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'd like to point out the same 0 to 60. Pathetic. Okay, weight. So here we go. How heavy are the cars? 458's always been a little bit of a porker, so
a bit lardy, isn't she?
1,565 kilograms.
Boom, 1,475.
Is it?
Yeah. I've got 100 kilograms lighter.
Yeah.
I've got 100 more horsepower.
Yeah.
And I'm still 5 miles an hour slower top speed. So Damian has set me the challenge to just only change the radio station. So here we go. We're going to start now. I'm guessing it's this side. No, that's off. No. I
mean, I'll give you a clue. It is just in this cluster here. That's the only thing. It's in there somewhere.
But nothing's changing. This is impossible.
So what I'm going to do is show you how to change a radio station, or how quickly it takes to change a radio station in a 458 Italia. I'm in the speedometer view, which is my favourite view. To get out of that, I have to hold down the back view for a few seconds. No idea why. Now we're going back, so I'm in menu, I'm in the nav now, so now I have to press main on and off button to take me back. I've got 4 options, and I have to use the jog dial to flick left to go to radio. Now I'm in the radio section, but it's not the right radio channel. So now I have to press the menu button, scroll down from My Files, Traffic Announcement, TMC, Store Station, and Station List. Press it to choose the station list. Click Move down to the station that I want. Press it again, and now I'm on a new radio station, and then I have to hold back to go back to the speedometer.
Amazing.
How quick was that?
That's amazing. And you didn't take your eyes off the road once?
Not once.
And you're supposed to achieve this whilst doing...
200 miles an hour. Okay, it's time to take out the beast that is the 488 GTB.
Bring it on! This is a very tight car. The cabin is totally driver focused. It feels properly planted. I mean, it really does. The controls are much more manly than the 458.
Yeah, there's something about the 458.
It's a lot lighter.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a bit lower and closer to the ground.
Yeah, you sit higher in this, definitely.
Brakes in this are better than the 458.
Brakes are amazing in this. Should we have some beans?
We can attempt the beanage.
Let's try beanage. That is properly fast. You can feel the electronics working a lot harder to keep the car on the road. Much more helpful, so there's slightly more slack in the 458. Which is not a bad thing, obviously.
But it did feel very much like the Performante in that it did feel almost four-wheel drive. Engine noise.
Well, when you're on it, it's not actually too bad.
It's quite a satisfying roar, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got a really good kind of roar to it, low down, and that cuts in quite early, which is good.
But I mean, it's no 458 in terms of singing Ferrari engine. So it's a completely different noise. It's not horrible, but just not. It's different. Not as good. I respect it, but I don't love it as much as the 458.
No, there is something about that 458 that gets right under your skin. Not bad actually, it's quite a lot of space in there. You could definitely get a couple of overnight bags without any problem. And a completely identical size boot. I mean, it really is. There's literally no difference in the size of that boot to that one.
It's a draw.
It's a draw.
Important comparison here between the 488 and the 458 is the keys. Let's check them out. On the left we have the 458, on the right we have the 488. Conventional versus wireless tricky weirdy thing.
Yeah, so before Damian goes on to a 27-minute rant about how he hates wireless keys, obviously modern technology, you know, everything has to be wireless, but I don't know, what do you guys think? What do you guys think?
I think the 488 is a humongous, massive carbuncle, and the 458 key is beautifully proportioned. It's a quick car. It might be the last generation, but I mean, we're still talking 562 brake horsepower.
There's nothing slow about this car. It's a bit of a shimmy. That noise, you know, it's still just as pointy. You get the turn in. There's no understeer in this car. You can steer it with the rear. It's just fantastic to drive.
There's a lot of magic here.
There's a lot of magic here, and actually the fact that it isn't quite as planted as the 488 actually adds to the kind of experience a little bit.
A little bit more hair raising.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. It should not frighten you, but it should give you
It gives you full involvement, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you have to stay. You got to keep your wits about you.
Yeah.
You know, you can't relax for a second. I think with this car, V8. 4.5 litre, naturally aspirated Ferrari, last of the breed. How do you find it? How does it compare?
So instantly, it's easier to get it going than the 488. So the 488 almost feels, when you put your foot on the accelerator as you're moving away, like the handbrake's dragging. and this one you kind of get instant acceleration.
So responses are immediate in this car?
In this car, yeah, because obviously you haven't got that, you're not waiting for induction or anything like that to start spinning other things up to get yourself moving. I think one of the biggest differences that I noticed jumping out of the 488 into the 458 is that this feels a bit looser. It's a bit more squiggly when you plant your feet.
Yeah, I think the 488 definitely feels a much tighter car.
Much tighter.
It's more, you know, the damping is better. I tend to find that the 458's got a little bit of a sort of boaty oscillation to it,
yeah,
which the 488 doesn't
No,
have.
there's nothing. The car is absolutely solid and planted on the road. You put your foot down, you point it in the direction you want to go, and it's absolutely there with you all the time. Whereas this takes a little bit more planning, a little bit more thought.
Yes. But this is the biggest difference.
That's the biggest difference, right?
This is... This is why you buy a 458 over a 488.
There is...
Woo! Listen to that.
There is no comparison.
Yeah, that is, I mean, hands down, the loser in terms of engine noise, in terms of responsiveness. The engine note, the roar, the 488 cannot compete with this car.
Cannot even get close. Not even in the same postcode area.
No, big difference with this car is the response time and the noise is the massive plus of the 458.
Yeah.
So it wins hands down, no question there.
Yeah.
In terms of the dynamics, in terms of the actual driving, in terms of the interaction with the road, 488 definitely beats this for sophistication, for, you know, a more refined ride.
Much more refined ride. Yeah.
Downside is that it runs out of puff at 7,000 revs. So you've got lots of surge, low down surge, but then it runs out.
Whereas this just pulls harder and harder and harder.
But this is more terrifying.
Oh yeah.
And so if you're going to get one of these cars over a 488, you have to concentrate. You can't just switch off. You've got to pay attention to what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we really need to hear some more of this symphony now.
You need some more of the symphony, right? So
it's been 5 minutes. We need some more.
Yeah, that's true. Let me find a straight piece of road.
Yeah, make sure it's straight. Not a corner.
Don't want to do this on corners. So 8,500 RPM that was.
Was it?
Normally aspirated V8 naturally.
Yeah, remember we got told off about that.
Oh yeah, we did get told off, didn't we? Sorry YouTube guys, viewers. Awkward.
What I find incredible about the 458 Italia is how good it still is.
Oh yeah.
This is the last generation. I mean, it looks pretty much the same as the 488. There's a lot of the characteristics.
Controversial, yeah.
I mean, this is still a fantastic car. It's not like the jump between the 430 and the 458, which was enormous.
Oh yeah, yeah,
and even the jump between the 360 and the 430 was pretty big.
Another game changer.
But this thing, there's refinement, of course, in the 488, and there's increased sort of shove and feel, although the acceleration figures don't seem to hold that out. But
that's turbochargers give you the shove. It's the extra torque that makes it feel like it's quicker.
Yeah, but it's not quicker.
But it's not quicker. But I'm off the throttle on this, and we're gently rolling.
Oh! Whoa! Oh! What was that? So something, ladies and gentlemen,
has just
shattered the driver's side
window.
It's another Car Guys exclusive.
That was fairly frightening, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you think it was a stone, or do you think it just went?
I don't know. But it's tedious. Mummy, I broke it. Let's look at the value proposition of owning either one of these two wonderful cars.
The reason for this video is there's an awful lot of you that have contacted us on the channel saying, should I go for a 458, or should I save up or perhaps extend myself a little bit further and go for the 488? This is the last naturally aspirated V8 that Ferrari is ever going to make. So the 458 is always going to be special. There's a 50k difference between the two, so that's 50 grand cheaper, and this one is a newer car, but this one I think will drop a lot quicker. I think that car there has got to the bottom of its depreciation curve right now, and in fact is going to start to go up. I think as good as the twin turbo is, there is something very special about that last naturally aspirated V8. What have we learned then about these two magnificent V8 Ferraris?
Well, I think hopefully we're taking you through every aspect of the ownership experience and what it's like to have and drive both of these cars. So what do we think?
If you are looking for the best of the best, the most refined, relaxed driving experience, tons of power, but you want it to be quite civilized, then the 488 is the better of the two. However,
if you want your pants on fire,
if you want the noise, if you want drama, if you want a car
get that
that's
adrenaline flowing through your body,
lots of adrenaline, if you want, you know, the driver's window to explode, and if you want the prettier of the two cars, the V8 singing at 9,000 RPM, you want a little bit of danger, you want a bit of that, and also if you want a car that probably right now is coming to the bottom of its depreciation curve and actually increasing in value, then you've got to get a 458. I mean, it is one of the greatest Ferraris ever made. It's certainly the best modern Ferrari ever made. The jump between the 430 and the 458 is enormous.
That, for me personally, because I like a little bit of a fire, that beats that.
Yeah. Thanks for watching the video, guys, and the comparison between the 488 and the 458.
It's been really good to have you along for the ride, and don't forget to leave comments, tag that notification bell for when we next upload a video.
See you soon.